Hello and all, welcome to a Galaxy Man Show interview show. So, for my very first guest of this week is this incredible actor known by the name of John Teague, who's been in this incredible Power Rangers, incredible web series called Bloodline of the Grid. So, it's only on Nobot Studios. He's in episode 2. He plays the incredible role of Vincent Reyes. So I'm about to add John into the live now and have a chat with John about his role as Vincent Reyes. So yeah, let's add John in and have a chat with John. Hey, John,
Hey,
how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, really good, thanks. I just want to say first up, thank you so much for taking the time to join my show, John.
Of
It's
course.
such an incredible pleasure having you on the show today. To people that don't know who you are, John, if you can give like a bit of backstory about yourself first, and then we'll dive right into the questions.
Sure. So the backstory about me, you talk about my personal life, right?
Yeah.
So I started with film. It's been almost 7 years now. I've been in the film industry. I started doing stunts about 3, 4 years ago, and along came with the acting portion of stunts, and then after that, kind of made my way to going on projects, and here I am with the Bloodline of the Grid, with some of my amazing friends. So
Awesome. So we'll dive right into the questions now, John. So for my very first question, so as you mentioned, Bloodline on the Grid, episode 2,
yes.
such an incredible episode that you guys have all made, the cast, the crew. What was it like getting to make this episode for episode 2 of Bloodline of the Grid? And what was it like? What was the whole experience like for you getting to play this incredible character of Vincent Reyes for episode 2?
So talking about the whole production itself, it was a very I want to use the term very hot, because the location we were shooting at was very hot. So that was like most of our like kind of like our views on it. But it was such a great like experience just working with our friends in general. I've worked with DJ before, and he brought me on this project. So me and him are very close, and I got to meet Christopher Kamen Lee, Justin Nemo, and all this amazing cast. And they at first they allowed me to. I wasn't even a character in the beginning. I was the stunt coordinator. So all the fighting that you see in this film is created by me and a good friend of mine, Nikita, who chimed in a couple of the sequences. And so first we created the whole fighting, and then DJ contacts me, is like, "Hey, how would you like to be a character in this film?" I'm like, "Yes," immediately. And so we created Vincent Reyes, and he's the right hand man of Justin Nemo's character, who is the Silver Ranger. And immediately I was like, yes, yes, and yes. So that's how we kind of brought in Vincent Reyes into this world. And he has a very how do you say, interesting story. And we're excited. I'm in talks with DJ about it, and we're excited to share kind of what he has to bring.
Yes, awesome. So on to the very next question. So what was like your favorite like moment or like the scene that you filmed? Like I have to say, like your first appearance with like whoever hasn't seen Bloodline of the Grid, your first appearance as Vincent was so incredible. I love how you clashed with Sam O'Neill's character, which I loved. That was such a great moment. Um, when both Vincent and Sam both clashed. Like, would you like to see more of that? Like,
Yes,
after
absolutely. Absolutely.
yes,
What I wanted to bring, and what DJ wanted to bring to this character, is a very like, he knows he's good. He knows he's like one of the top ranks, because he, as you see in the film, he's hired by blue the Blue Ranger of one of the seasons, and the Chad. He's hired by Chad, the Blue Ranger, and so he's one of the top tier guys, and so I already have a sense of like, I know I'm good. So seeing his character make mistakes of not capturing the Raiders and all that stuff, I already know like, hey, you already messed up. So it's a good clash between us two, and I definitely want to see more of that with my character in general.
Yes, I love that. So, what was it like getting to work with like Justin Nemo and Chris on set, like of Bloodline on the Grid? Like, what are they like in person? I have to
So
ask too.
it's actually really fun. I first met Chris through well, I first had a phone call with him when me and DJ were scouting out our location, and immediately Chris was like, yes, let's do it. I like you. I'm so all on board, you know. And then I met Justin later on when we shot that scene. That was my first time meeting him, and it brought me back to watching, you know, the In Space series. And I've met Justin before at Power Morphicon. I think it was like 6 years ago. And it's funny because I have a picture of me and him just introducing myself, and then 6 years later, I'm working on set with him, which is like a honestly, it's a dream come true to work with these people, and they're just normal people like us, you know, like they have their lives, and I think what people don't see behind the camera is how human they are, you know, because for us sometimes we see them as heroes, you know, we grew up with them, and it's nice to communicate on a human level, and it's just so much fun.
So, on to our very next question. As you mentioned, yeah, you would love to see Vincent, your character, come back for more episodes of Bloodline on the Grid. So, if you could, like, if Vincent could come back, and like, if Vincent could have any incredible, like, other storylines for Vincent, like, what would you like to see next for Vincent Reyes, and why?
So I thought about this, right? This his character is in a world of military, and I want to see like his a little history of like him being in the military, of like this futuristic world of in space, and you know this grid, you know. So it would be cool to see have him and his team training, being in battle, and seeing why the way he is, like being very calm, because I do have like military training and all this, and it matches who I am personally. Very calm in general, and I think I want to see more of that and why he is the way he is.
So on to our very next question. So to people that haven't seen Bloodline of the Grid episode 2 yet, only on Nerdbot Studios, everyone definitely go support the cast, crew, definitely check it out. Yeah, to people that haven't seen Bloodline on the Grid episode 2, why do you recommend Bloodline on the Grid for people to watch it that haven't seen it yet?
I would recommend it because it's a story that if you've seen Mandalorian, this is the Power Ranger version of Mandalorian. So if you like that kind of hero anti-villain type of character, then this is like perfect for people to watch, and it focuses so much on not just one character, but you know, two sides where you don't really know who the bad guy is, you know. So yeah, these are the Red Raiders, but they're doing stuff that aren't legal, right? But then you have the other side, which is my character and Justin Nemo's character, Silver Ranger. Like they have the Crybots now, and they have these villains that we used to fight. So are we the bad guys or are they the bad guys? You know, so I think that's what's cool about this series is that you got to pick a side and see who's right, and you got to join, you know, kind of like live in this world of the Ranger world of the grid. So
So on to our very next question. So if Vincent Reyes could have his own like morphing call, what would you like Vincent Reyes' morphing call be and why?
ooh, that's a great question. Um, because he is an army type of character, um, I would love to see something that is very like military style, you know, either um, wow, that's a great question. Because obviously a lot of these seasons have like there's certain moves that they go into, right? Um, and without spoiling of what we're gonna do, I would love to see like something that's very simple, very but very iconic in the end. That's something that everyone can do. That's just super cool, you know. It's not too much, but it's not too little. But it's very oh, that's Vincent Reyes' character. Like he would do that every time, you know.
Yes, I love that. So on to our very next question. So what has been your like most favorite childhood memory of Power Rangers? Like has been your most favorite season of all time and why?
That is a great question. My favorite season. I'm very into a lot of the ninjas. So when the original Rangers became ninjas, I was all in. Um, Having another layer of their character, of their morph, and the fact they're like these ninja characters, especially for like the first movie, right? You see them become like ninjetti rangers, and that was like my home base of like, I want to be a ninja, I want to be a Power Ranger ninja, and this was like blew my mind as a kid. So growing up with the original Rangers was like my all-time favorite moment, and seeing them, and especially in the movie, that was like I could watch that movie over and over again, and like, okay, this scene is the one. So
Awesome. So that's our very next question. So what has been your like most favorite like Power Rangers villain of all time from any season and why?
Power Ranger villain. Well, there's many good ones. Like Rita Repulso was amazing, and then came Lord Zed. I think their duel was very, very iconic. Um, because almost all the villains, I would say, are so evil, but then within space, there were more than one. So with in this series, Ecliptor, as you've seen the episode, is a big part of Andros's character, and technically he's still the villain, even though he's gone. So, and his blood runs into these hero characters, which is really cool, and I think that makes it special with the Ecliptor. And have seeing like these Psycho Rangers, I think they're amazing villains because they're the opposite of the Power Rangers. So having that sense of like hero and anti-hero of like the Psycho Rangers is like, I think it's amazing because you're fighting yourself in a sense, but technically the other person is stronger than you.
Awesome. So on to our very next question. So if Vincent Reyes could be team leader of any like five Ranger team members from any past seasons, like what kind of like team members would Vincent want on his team and why?
Ooh, good question. So there was a season where I think it was SPD where they brought back the in space helmets, and then it was like A team, right? A team.
Yeah.
I think Vincent Reyes would lead them because they are like the military version of the Space Rangers, and they have they had rifles, they had the whole armor, like they look very tactical, and if Vincent Reyes could lead a team, it would be them.
I love that. I love that. So, on to my very next question. So, what made you decide as a person and especially as an actor to get into the whole acting scene in the first place?
So acting is a big part of stunts. So me coming from the stunt world, we we have to act, right? So in a sense of we have to react to the main actor. A lot of times as a stunt performer, we are the guys that get hit, we are the guys that make the actors look good. So acting is a big part of what we do, and I think for me personally, the reason why I got into acting is because it's such I love just playing a character, right? No matter if it's a creature or a person or an object in a sense, right? It's such a step out of my personal life and playing like these characters, and I get to kind of live in their skin a little bit, and that's what I find interesting the most, and I love just exploring that world, like especially with Vincent Reyes. Like I get to play a military right hand man to the Silver Ranger, and it's since it's very close to me, it was very easy. Um, Now it's just going diving deeper into who he is and what he's done and what he's been through.
Awesome. So, the very next question. So, if you could have like any dream role, like for TV or film,
Mhm.
what kind of dream role would you see yourself in and why?
What kind of dream what I see myself in. I am a big fan of Avatar. Being a giant blue man would be very interesting. And I think what I find more interesting is living in that world, right? It's such a beautiful, big, unique world that they live in, and I would love to explore that kind of mindset of living in a big tree, or living in water, or living in, you know, this or just being 7, 10 feet tall, you know. I would love to be in their skin.
Awesome. You know how you mentioned the blue avatars? I actually could see you. This is a fan casting for me
Yeah.
right now. So I could actually see you as Prince Zuko in the
Oh,
actual Avatar.
Avatar,
Like,
Avatar Last Bender, yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah,
would,
you would be amazing in that
yes,
role.
I would love to play Zuko. After watching, Avatar, and then Korra, Zuko is such a big character in the film, and he has such a unique story, and it's I think a lot of people can relate to Zuko more than any other character.
Yeah,
I
totally
feel,
agree.
because he has his rise, he has his downfall, and then he has his comeback, and such an amazing character. But thank you for thinking that I can play
No,
him.
it's all good. It's all good. So on to our next question. So what would be your like all-time favorite TV series or movie currently, and why?
All time or currently favorite TV show or movie. Um, right now, they just finished with The Boys. The
Yes.
Boys is a very good R-rated show. Definitely not for kids, but if I could be in that show, that'd be amazing. Because we live in a world where we think superheroes are the good guys, but in this world, like, superheroes are actually the evil ones, and it's so
Yeah.
interesting to see. And it brings you back to kind of thinking like humans need to like just be human, and the people who are higher up have so much power in a sense, and you know being human is okay, I guess you can say. So
Awesome.
mhm.
So on to my very next question for you, John. So if young John could see, like, if you could like see yourself now, what would you say to your younger self looking back over time at your like career? And yeah, what would you say to your younger self?
What would I say to my younger self? Keep creating, I think, is what I would tell myself. I started off playing sports. I wasn't very creative. I was always like the follower of the group, among my friends. But I think if I started as a not a content creator, but a creator in general, in art, right? Would That's what I give myself as an advice: to create when you're young. Let your mind explore, and let your mind like try new things. And I think that would help me as a almost 30-year-old now to have a more creative mind, because I think creativity will save the world in a sense, and it'll help people kind of be free.
So on to the very next question. So if you could give like anyone advice on wanting to get into the acting industry, like what advice would you give them and why?
What advice would I give someone who's getting into acting and the industry is to learn how to be a filmmaker. You know, try to shoot your own movies. Even if it's like on your phone, that's how we were taught. Like, because our phones shoot amazing videos. So if you're trying to get into the industry, try something small, like uh, make small 10-second videos. I mean, TikTok, Instagram, all these platforms are allowing you to do that, to be actual filmmakers. And if you want to tell stories, tell a story. Even if it's your own story, you know, why not and tell it? And even if it's 30 seconds, do a 30-second video. And but I would say be a filmmaker. Um, Acting will come later, I would say. But as even for actors now, or even for stunt performers, what they tell us is learn how to be a filmmaker. So the ins and outs of what you have to do. behind camera and then in front of the camera.
So onto that, what's like the positive and negative side into the whole acting industry, and how do you get through those like negative moments as an actor?
As an actor, you're gonna get no a lot. You're gonna get a lot of no's. But if you keep working at your craft, if you keep working at being true to yourself, but also adapting to like situations and learning is a big part of the experience. If you can do those things and stay true and positive, then you'll get to where you need to be. And it's okay to ask questions. Questions is a good thing to do, especially among people that you want to act with. And what I would say to people who are getting into it is to find people who are doing the same thing. So for me, like me being in the stunt world, I have friends who I train with all the time. And outside of training, we're great friends. But inside training, we're allowing ourselves to help each other, allowing ourselves to grow with each other. So as an actor, it's good to help each other. I think that's what we need in the industry more of. And I think that's the positive way to give yourself is to have friends that do it with you.
Awesome. So that's our very next question. So like what's next for you like after like for the rest of 2022? Like any upcoming projects that you'd like to announce on the show?
Yes. So I have a film of my own called 20 and 22. Um, it's coming out next week, actually. So July 26th is when my film releases, 20 and 22. It'll be on YouTube. But after that, I am diving into more of motion capture. So that's going to be my main focus. But at the same time, I'm going to start working on my next project. It's still a secret, but I'm going to announce it maybe a little month after July ends. So, but right now I'm gonna dive my creativity into motion capture, and I want to, for me personally, I want to play more creatures. I want to play more robots, you know, in that sense, and see where I can go from there.
So I love that. So I just want to say thank you so much again, John, for coming in on to my show. It has been such an incredible pleasure having you on. Everyone, definitely go and give John one amazing and incredible support. He's such an incredible like character in Bloodline of the Grid. Whoever hasn't seen Bloodline of the Grid, definitely go support the cast and crew. They have all done such an incredible job. It's only on Nerdbot Studios, so definitely go check it out. And it's definitely worth the watch because, yeah, you guys have done such an incredible job with it. Even Colin, like Colin's work and DJ's work, they do
Yeah,
they do such a sensational job with their
yeah,
storylines and developments and stuff. And I love that, like about Colin and DJ. And I just want to say thank you so much again, John.
of
Do you
course.
have like any last final thoughts that you'd like to say to people on the show?
Yes. So if you watch the episode, try to comment below on what Power Ranger you think Vincent Reyes is gonna be. So
Yes.
there is a few people suggesting a few things, but obviously I know. Um, but I want you guys to comment in the video of what you think Vincent Reyes is going to be.